Hey everybody, welcome to Workforce Gaming. I'm Brad, here with Doug.
Hi.
So, little known fact, Doug is a Trackmania expert.
Yes.
In fact, was just bragging about his position on the leaderboard before we started recording this.
Mm-hmm.
Top 3, not number 1. But
God damn it. I was number one. I was number one in Massachusetts. I want to make that very clear. And I was number one. And I by the end of the night, I will be number one again. I'm now number 3, though.
So anyway, there's a new Trackmania. These have kind of come out sporadically over, I say, like, what, the last 10, 12 years?
Something like that.
I feel like it's been a while.
years?
I remember playing it in college.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's a new one. This one, I played it for a little bit just because it's free to play, which is a good way to get me to at least try something. I guess when I was looking at this, and again, I haven't played a lot of Trackmania. I played the PlayStation version. What was different about this? Like, was it just like, in my mind, like, racing games are like sports games. Now, I love some Madden and some NHL, and I can tell you the difference from year to year. And when there's no difference, I can tell you, which is frequent. But is it the same here?
So, if you've played, so I'll answer this question from two perspectives.
Okay.
If you've never played Trackmania before, that doesn't matter. Trackmania is this very weird, unique game that's kind of wholly its own. And saying what is it improved over the last one? Like, what makes sense to you? Because it's basically I'd have to describe a whole new genre before I even explain the new stuff to you.
Okay.
Very cool series. If you've never played it, get into it. It's not a racing game. It's pretending to be a racing game. It's more like Trials. If you have played the games before, it's like describing Madden, I'm sure. But this is just like straight up mechanically like the best Trackmania's ever been. It's like 15 years of Trackmania of experience, and like what's the best of Trackmania, and then like let's just do that. And I used to play a lot of Trackmania 2 Stadium, which this is kind of based on. There's different flavors of Trackmania, and you can kind of think of ways that there's different flavors of racing. Like there's rally car racing, there's F1 racing, there's NASCAR racing, that sort of thing. And Trackmania is kind of split up the same way. So this is part of the Trackmania Nations Stadium. Doesn't matter. It's my favorite version of Trackmania, and it's now just like the best version of my favorite part of Trackmania. So like it's amazing. But again, if you've played the games before, and especially if you played Turbo recently, I think you might actually even see this as like a step down.
Really?
Because I think maybe not mechanically. Like I was saying, it's perfect. It is perfect. It's like perfect Trackmania. But it's clear, like the Trackmania Turbo, which I think a lot of people I don't know. I don't think a lot of people played the Trackmania Turbo, but that was the first time Trackmania got a budget, had these really cool environments and that sort of thing. And then this version kind of like cut away all that. Yeah. And now it's just like pure distilled Trackmania. It's like they had like Bud Light Lime, and then they're like, no, let's just go back to just Budweiser. That makes sense.
I mean, not a fan of either, but that's okay, and that makes sense because not really a fan of Trackmania, so it all's connecting here. But I had that feeling when I turned this on because I was expecting Trackmania Turbo because that's the one I played, and you just have these very sparse areas with admittedly still cool tracks and cool things going on. I did one where like my tires iced up, and there's some cool mechanic stuff going on that's really neat. But just the game just was kind of blah to look at from my 45 minutes of time with it.
Yeah, it's funny because I actually think it's like I think when you first boot up the game, especially if you're not familiar with Trackmania, or maybe you're just familiar with Trackmania Turbo, you think it's like, man, these graphics are like just really simple, and they are. Yeah. And I think the art style is like super super simple. But the important thing with like Trackmania is that it's a super super mechanics heavy game, and the most important thing is readability on the tracks. It's kind of an issue. Like, I don't know, maybe I've had this issue with like modern racing games. It's because the graphics are so good and there's so many shadow effects going on. It's kind of hard to tell where your car is on a track sometimes just because like all the shadows and stuff are going crazy. And I just like, it's hard to read where the road is. And then like Trackmania is like, no, we're going to make the road as absolutely legible as possible. So we're going to cut out any sort of like extraneous sort of like prettiness sort of thing. And then basically like kind of cut that all away. So you only have just like readability of the track as number one. But I think it actually kind of leads to kind of a neat aesthetic of this very, very clean cut. It's kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It's a little bit like toy-like almost. Yeah. Of how clean it is.
Hot Wheels.
But if you came out Trackmania Turbo, which was just like I don't know what I don't quite understand what Trackmania Turbo was trying to do, but it just had like the graphics were really good in it. Like I'm not going to deny that, but like the track readability was actually kind of difficult. It was kind of hard to play that game sometimes. Like where the hell is the road? In this one, you're never asking where the hell the road is. It's like it's very clear that's the road. Now you just need to do the thing.
Got it.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I really like it. I think I was seeing people like kind of talk about it online. It's like people who are coming from Turbo didn't like it because it looked too simple. But then people who had come up through the other Trackmania games, who have been with the series for longer, like actually like think it's really good that they did that. Yes. Yeah. So well, I mean, it's kind of like one of those like fans. It's like the fans they brought in with Trackmania Turbo, and now they're all very confused. But then all the people who came with the series are like, yes, this is the best.
They're the '90s band that tried to play some current music, and all the people from the '90s were like, "What is that?" But the new people were like, "Okay." Wait, I did that analogy wrong, but you get the idea.
No, you did it right. And then they got all the fans for the 2000s.
Yeah.
And then they're like, hey, we're going to go back to our 90s sound.
And all those people are like, but this is gross. And you're like, yes.
Yes, this is exactly what I wanted. And it's like the best of the 90s sound has ever sounded.
So I was flipping through this, and one of the things that I was struggling with was because it's free to play, and because Trackmania also features a whole lot of custom creation, I was really struggling with figuring out where to start. And there was one button that said like summer 2020 or something, but then there was a daily one that I couldn't get to, and then there was a whole list of like a whole shit ton of other stuff. And I was really just like trying to figure out where's the good stuff. Like if I'm going to play this, I'm going to load this up. I want to see, do I like Trackmania? Where do I go?
Yeah. So, okay. So how Trackmania is set up, and this one's like a little bit weird, and this kind of actually gets into the, so I think I was saying how great mechanically it is and how cool the art style is. Like when you're actually playing Trackmania, it's great. The UI is kind of a mess. And like you're saying, you're confused. Like a lot of people are confused. Okay. So what the game is doing, they're doing these things. I guess they're called seasons. So we are in summer 2020. So it's a list of 25 tracks that are actually created by the creators of Trackmania. So if you open up the game, there'll be summer 2020. You click on that, and then you'll see like a solid list of 25 tracks, and you can go by those tracks one by one. And it's kind of neat. You can go through those like single player, so you're not playing against anybody, but then there's also a million people playing those tracks at once as well. So you can just kind of like decide to go online. Yeah. So if I'm like on, say, track number 3, and I just want to play by myself and just beat my own time and be comfortable. But sometimes it's good, I think, to have a little competition in these games because it just kind of forces you just to be a little bit better than them. Mm-hmm. So you can do that with like any of the levels. So you can either decide to play them single player or multiplayer. And basically what it is, you can get like, based on your time, you get bronze, silver, gold. So there's like 25 of those base tracks that like anybody can play. And I think that would probably be like, maybe if you're like really trying to go for gold, like maybe a good like 5 hours, 6 hours of like playtime, maybe more.
Okay.
Depends how into it you are. I mean, I got a lot of playtime out of it.
Well, in about an hour, I had 0 golds and like 1 silver. So let's put that into perspective.
I don't want to brag, but they actually have a secret medal above gold called the I think it's called the Arthur medal. And what it is, it's actually the best time the person who made the map got.
Oh, that's cool.
And then, so when you get an Arthur medal, you beat the person who made the map. It's very satisfying because it's really hard to get. So I have a few of those. So where was I? So you have those 25 tracks. So if you're like, hey, what the heck is Trackmania? Start with those 25 tracks.
Yep.
And now they have these things called clubs, which are essentially servers. It's kind of like servers. And so when you go into a multiplayer server, it'll go through however many tracks the server has set up. Could have like 10 tracks, could have 20, could have 30, could have 2. And that track, that's kind of like a mix of the different, of like different creator maps and that sort of thing.
So starting the seasons.
So yeah, that's about it. And so I'm trying to remember, and I'm trying to remember why I kind of got stuck on the free version. The free version does have some, obviously, like with any sort of free version with anything, it's going to have like some, I just remember the one thing that really bugged me about the free version is I couldn't chat. See, and like the game is like, everybody's really nicely shit talking each other. It's like a very friendly atmosphere of shit talking. And it's not like, oh, I hate you so much. It's a lot of people like, they'll do like NT, which is like nice time. So like a lot of people, like everybody's kind of rooting for each other, but it's also really competitive. So I just really like the vibe of servers. Like I would say like, I think it's because everybody's so focused and like really you're not competing against anybody else. It's not a racing game. You're just trying to get the best time for yourself. So think of it kind of like a swim race. Like when you're racing, when you're swimming, you're not actually like you're racing people, but like really it's just your own lane sort of thing.
Yeah, they're not in your way. They're not trying to cut you off.
Yeah, exactly. So like everybody's just trying to be better themselves. So it's got a very nice, friendly kind of banter back and forth. That's like never mean or anything like that. It's always just like, yeah, it's like if somebody got like a really nice time on a server, it's like, oh, hey, congratulations. This guy just got number 3 on the time of this server ever. And it's just like, oh, it's cool. Nice job, man.
Nice.
Kind of sucks when you're like in first and then that guy does that.
This is why you're not number 1 anymore, Doug. You're too nice.
Yeah, it's like, well, my number 1 time was 25 on the server, and his is 3, so there's no way in hell I'm getting that. It's funny because like the difference, and the thing that I really love about the game is like the difference between like first place and like 10th place can literally be, I think I had 100th of a second or something like that. Like a 10th to 100th of a second can like make all the difference.
Yeah.
So it's like this very, very nice, precise way of playing that I love.
And that's what I remember from Turbo is just sitting there and you'd get like ghosts of like the top 4 people and it'd be like, oh, they took that turn just that much closer to the road. So it's like that little chunk is that 10th of a second. So
I recommend not playing with Ghost. I don't play with Ghost because it stresses me out. Because the thing when you play with Ghost is like they're taking turns differently than you're taking turns. It doesn't necessarily mean they're taking them better. Like it might be better to take a wider instead of a tighter turn on this one, but then a tighter turn on the second one, sort of thing. Yeah.
For you, yes, but I can tell you they're always taking turns better than me every time. No question.
Sure, that's a good point.
Because that's how I learned Turbo was I literally would just turn Ghost on and I would like purposely trail behind them so I could watch how they did everything and then try and recreate it that way. So I think that non-competitive nature does kind of add in there when even just trying to learn the game, because this one I didn't actually look for one, but I know with Turbo I kind of looked for like a tutorial, looked for kind of some strategy in the game, and it didn't really have much. So it's just kind of that nice way to look and see where you're going.
Yeah, this one actually has a pretty cool tutorial, and like what it is, it's just like these really, really short tracks of like just specific types of turns.
Oh, that's cool.
Like just a loop, or just a weird turn, or just a this, or just a that. Oh man, I love this game. I can't wait. I cannot wait for it. But the thing is, it's hard to recommend because it's pretty bare bones, but it's free. I don't know. It's a weird balance you're playing with all that sort of stuff.
I got a good hour of it just out of the free stuff. And then you said you paid what, like $10 a month, I think, for whatever you got? I don't know all the price figures, but you said $10 a month? No, $10
a year. Yeah.
So, I mean...
It sucks that it's a year, but I was thinking like I would probably drop $60 on this game. Like really, I would personally, because it's just like, it's worth it to me. Yeah. Sort of thing. But it's like, if you've never played Trackmania, I think it's really good they actually made it free to play, because it gives you like a chance to try it.
And it's
a weird game.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Trackmania, and that's what I originally got is the first time I played this was when the two of us were in college, and you were like, hey, come play this racing game. And I think I played, I was like,
oh shit, no way.
You don't remember this? Like we used to sit like at your computer and we literally would do like... Oh my god,
we had like people doing round robin at my computer.
Yeah, we did like round robin on your computer. And that's how I started playing Trackmania. And I was like, this is some stupid car game. Like what the... It's just like, what is this? It's Need for Speed but with a dumb looking car. And then I played, I was like, damn it, this is addicting.
Oh my god, I completely forgot about... Yeah, because you could do multiplayer where you take turns.
Yeah.
It's like this person goes and this person... I haven't played local multiplayer. Holy crap.
Yeah, good
What year was that? 2009?
8? 9? Somewhere around there, yeah.
I didn't realize I've been... Actually, honestly, until I had vague recollection. I didn't remember that at all until you mentioned that. Wow, shit, I've been playing this game for a long time.
Yeah, and just so you know, you were just as good and pissy and irritating about it then, too. And like, I'm number 1.
It's one of the few games I'm like legitimately good at. I'm good at the games that people don't play.
There you go. But yeah, free to play. So for sure, I think if you have any interest in racing games or Trials, I think you brought up earlier is a great comparison. It's free to play.
I think it's easier than Trials.
I'm better at Trials. They're
sure.
very
okay, that's probably,
they're very different. Very different.
Yeah, that's true.
But free to play, check it out. Pay $10 a year if you want to, I guess.
Yeah.
Doug did.
I did.
We'll see if Doug's number 1 in 4 or 5 hours since he's irritated now.
I hope so. God, it's so annoying. It's so annoying.
But anyway, we are Workforce Gaming. You can follow us on Twitter at Workforce Gaming. Subscribe to us wherever you're listening, and we will see you later.
Bye.